Hi, Barbara here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week. Now, today I want to talk to you if you are struggling with taking on far too much. You might struggle to say no, and you are what my husband used to call me, a professional volunteer, where the saying that if you want something done, give it to a busy person. If that's you, this video's for you, because it was me. I could completely relate to that. The other day somebody caught up with me and said, my biggest problem, Barbara, is that I am struggling with overwhelm because I'm taking on far too much. So this video is just for you. Now, as I said, I really did struggle with this. My husband really did call me a professional volunteer because I was just helping everybody. Now, my problem was that I got into the habit of volunteering for stuff. So if there was something that needed to be done, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, no problem. I was just super helpful. And it usually involved around the kids' clubs, the hobbies that they had. And I'd convinced myself, and I realised that this was an out-of-date habit, out-of-date belief rather, that was playing around in my head, that if I don't do it, who will? If I don't do it, who will? That was the first belief that was going around in my head. And the second belief was, it's good to be helpful. It's good to be helpful. So I'd convinced myself that those two things, that if I don't do it, who will? And it's good to be helpful. It got to the point for me where I was spending all my time doing things for other people, doing all their stuff, and my stuff was going untouched. And I had a bit of an epiphany moment. One, because I was feeling absolutely knackered, and two, well, hang on a minute, what about me? Yeah, what about me? And I wrote a list of all the stuff that I wanted to do and that I needed to do, and I realised that actually I wasn't getting any of it done. I was just scrabbling around. I was forever just like kind of treading water just because my to-do list was full of doing things for other people. So here's what I did. Once I wrote the list of what I needed to do and what I wanted to do, and I realised that it was untouched, I then thought about I followed my gut instincts and thought, actually, what do I want to get rid of? What do I not enjoy? What is just like work to me and I really don't want to do it? And those are the things that I decluttered first. Now, as we all know, decluttering is just awful, isn't it? It's awful to begin with, but it needs to be done. But at the end, you feel amazing. And this was exactly the same. At the end, once I decluttered all the things that I didn't want to do anymore, I felt fantastic. And I started making space for stuff that I really did want to do. And it was a great feeling. Now, I want to double back on those old beliefs that were playing around in my head, because while I was going through this process, I realised that the it's good to be helpful belief that was playing around in my head wasn't actually true anymore. Yes, I still, and to this day, still believe that I want to be helpful, but I can be helpful in other ways without sacrificing my soul. And also that if I'm volunteering and wanting to do something for somebody else, but really not putting my all into it, I'm not being very helpful. I'm not being very helpful. So I switched that one. And the second belief that I had that I've mentioned was, if I don't do it, who will? This one, once I really thought about it, I thought, actually, I'm potentially taking an opportunity away from somebody else who might really want to do that. And that was unacceptable to me. And I thought, I'm actually sitting in a chair, taking up a spot that somebody else may really want to do. So that was unacceptable. And you know what? Once I freed up that chair, other people filled it and they were having a ball. So that actually matched my values rather than an out-of-date belief. So that was a big tick for me. The final thing that I got used to saying, and this is just practice, is saying, no, sorry, I can't help with that. No, I haven't got time for that right now. No, I can't help with that. Because if it didn't fit with, actually, I wanted to do it or I needed to do it, it had no place on my to-do list at that moment in time, so I couldn't help with that. So those are my top tips for how to stop taking on everything. I'd really love to know what you think. Let me know by leaving a comment and let's chat about it. Okay? See you soon.